Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Chat with CHAP, and it is senior week. It's Friday. It's the last day of senior week, but we've had a lot of fun, and we've talked a lot about a lot of things. I'm your host, Ginger Wade, by the way. And you will notice I have my fifth and final tassel. You can't see the green on the back, but you can see the number. That is my husband's tassel, so we've had a fun time displaying our tassels thus far from the Wade household. Today we're going to talk about graduation and beyond, but earlier this week we talked about credits and transcripts and the final evaluation and diplomas. So if you haven't seen those episodes, you're going to want to go check those out, and those are for anybody who has kids even in junior high going into senior high, because that will help you get through senior high to graduation day, which everyone is looking forward to, right? So besides all those things I talked about earlier this week, the other things you need to think about leading up to graduation day, really the main thing is testing. Do I need to do any standardized testing? The answer is no, you don't have to in order to graduate. You actually do not need to take the PSSAs, the Keystones. You don't have to take any of those things to graduate. You don't have to take the SAT or the ACT to graduate. However, some colleges do like to see test scores. I think there's fewer now than there used to be, but still there are still some colleges out there who want to see test scores. Some will accept the CLT, which is a classic learning test. I actually use that for my kids. I just like that better than the SAT and the ACT. It would be good to have a standardized test sometime in your kids' senior high years on your record, so that if someone ever does ask for standardized test scores, you have something to show them. So it could be necessary for scholarships. It would help you with, merit if they want to, if you're getting into a high-level college and they want to see those types of things. So that would be why you might want to do testing, and it's good to do it now instead of later when you might need it, because everything's fresh in your mind. So that will be one thing to think about. As far as record keeping, moving forward, so you have a graduate, you've done your evaluations, what do you have to keep? You don't have to keep the portfolios, although you might want to keep some things out of the portfolios that are especially special to you. The things you definitely want to keep are all of your evaluation letters for senior high, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. You want to keep the diploma and the transcript. Any standardized test scores that you take, you definitely want to have those on file at home. Now remember, I talked about maybe keeping some of those. Definitely the letters would be at the school. You might want to keep diplomas and transcript copies with the school district too, but that's up to you. So you want to keep those things permanently in a safe file. I would say soft copy, hard copy, maybe even something on the cloud, external hard drive, whatever. Make sure you have multiple copies, not just one. Okay, so that's record keeping. And beyond graduation, right? So let's talk about a few other things beyond graduation. What will your student do? There's so much to do. The trades is great. Apprenticeships are great. Gap year programs are great. Going to a college fair to see if you haven't decided whether or not you're going to college. And you know what? It's okay. If your student has not decided to go to college yet, it's okay to take a year off and look into things and think about it a little more. It's okay to work and see if you like things or don't like things. I suggest coming to the convention. There's lots of colleges that come to the convention. There is a college and career day that is free the Thursday morning before convention. That will be at Elizabethtown College. And that could help you get some ideas for college and career. And that can be junior high the whole way up through. If you've graduated and you still haven't figured it out, you can come to college and career day. You can come to the convention and talk to colleges. You can talk to gap year programs. There's gap year programs there. There might even be some apprenticeship people there. I'm actually not sure about that, but it's possible. You never know. So I would suggest going to chaponline.com/events and look into the events that are listed there, because that might help you out if you're trying to figure out what to do moving forward. There are so many opportunities out there. And you know what? Don't feel pressured, or don't pressure your student to have it all figured out. I mean, when you're 18, what on earth? There's like 2% of the people who know what they want to do for sure. I want to be a doctor since I was 6, and they know, right? Most people don't. I would venture to say most people aren't exactly sure what they want to do, and they change their minds as things go along. So, take your time, look into lots of things. There's so many options out there. Do some research. Like I said, come to the convention, talk to people, get ideas. Come out and get ideas. Come to the College and Career Fair on June 12th. I get some ideas there too. So that is beyond college. So you can look at homeschoolpennsylvania.org for beyond college, beyond high school ideas. Read a little bit more about that. Like I said, go to the convention website. Check that out on chaponline.com/events. Go there, look and see what colleges will be at the convention. But let's step back again and talk about graduation. So what do you do for graduation? Like, okay, you award a diploma, you have the transcript. Like, what do you do? What does a homeschooler do? We know that colleges and high schools have their graduation ceremony. Some of them have a baccalaureate ceremony, like a worship service the night before or a few days before. What do you do? What does a homeschooler do? Like, every homeschooler is the valedictorian of the class, right? So this is something actually that is worth a little bit of thinking about. And you need to think about it before now. Like, if you're thinking about graduation right now, it's a little bit late. You can still do something. Like, if you have a student that's graduating, do something. Celebrate the day. It is a big deal. This is something they've been working on for years and years and years and years. It's finally happened. Have a party. Do something. Don't just be like, okay, that's done, and move on to the next thing. Now, maybe you don't like the ceremonies, and maybe you don't want a big party, but, have a nice dinner. Celebrate it in some way. If you're wondering what to do, you'd like to do something, but you don't know how that works. The first thing I would say is CHAP convention, CHAP convention, CHAP convention. So CHAP convention has a graduation this year. We haven't for the past 5 years or so. We used to, and now we have it back again. I think, what's the date? I think you can still register. I think maybe you can register till the end of May. Maybe not. Maybe it's the 18th. So check it out. conventionconv.chaponline.com. If you need a graduation ceremony, I think you can still sign up, but I'm not sure. Check it out. So CHAP has one. You can come and check it out and see what it's like to see if you want to do it next year with your student. That's one option. Another thing you can do is just have something with your family. Whatever diploma you choose to use. You don't even have to have a cap and gown. I mean, the big ceremonies do it, but you don't have to. You could just have close family and friends there. Parents could say something about the educational journey. Maybe the student would say something. Here's your diploma. We're very proud of you. Let's have a dinner. It could be something like that. Or you could get together with some friends and design a ceremony. So what happens for me, I'm in a particular co-op, and the moms of the seniors come up with a program. So they talk about the elements that they would like to have in it. So for example, Molly just graduated this past Saturday. So, they processed into the pomp and circumstance, and then they're all on worship teams. Most of them, half the seniors were on a worship team. So they got up and played 2 worship songs, and we all sang together, and it was awesome, right? So there was that, and then there was a slideshow of the kids, and then there was a speaker, and he was actually a homeschool student. He's a dad now, but he came up and he talked to the kids a little bit. And then one of the graduates wanted to talk a little bit. So they came up and they talked about, living your life for Christ and stuff. It was awesome. And then the parents came up and they had the diploma and they talked a little bit about their kids. They had a little message either directly to the kids or just about their kids. And then they handed the diploma, and then the kids handed a rose to the moms, and they hugged, and everyone's crying, and it's wonderful. And then after that, we had a prayer time, so everybody broke off into family groups, and everybody prayed over the students. Oh, that was wonderful. And then we got back together, and then they did the tassel thing, where they switched from right to left. And then there was 2 more worship songs, and then we had some refreshments. Just something light, some chips, some pretzels, some cupcakes. We had some amazing catering moms in our group, so we had wonderful treats, and that was really great. And then, of course, you can have a graduation party. We had a graduation party, too, that day. Some people do it other days, and that could be whatever you want it to be. It can be drop-in with food. We had a square dance. That was so fun. But there's so many things that you could do to celebrate. You could just have the party. You could come up with a ceremony. it's totally up to you. You can make it whatever it is. Like, if you're like, we're celebrating with a trip to the Caribbean, then do it. I mean, whatever you want to, you know, it's like, it's homeschooling, right? There's no, like, the whole journey has been, make it what works for your family. So make graduation what works for your family. If you want to do it with other people, though, I highly, highly, highly suggest you start talking to people in August and September. There's like an umbrella group here. We have a whole lot of co-ops, and there's an umbrella group that kind of joins the co-ops together, and they have a little newsletter, and they have this big ceremony for like 200 students all together. But they make it a big senior year thing. So you start in like August and September, and the seniors meet together throughout the year, and they do events, and they do, I don't know, I think there's breakfasts and other things that they do together as a senior class. And then they have a ceremony like I was just talking about at the end of the year. But that's like a whole big year thing. And so look around at what's around where you are locally, talk to your co-op, talk to other people that you know, and come up with something that works. It doesn't have to have gowns. You could just get together and share. I love the ones where parents share about their kids. Oh my goodness, it's so special and so wonderful, and everyone's crying and it's wonderful. So like I said, make your graduation event whatever it is that you want. It doesn't have to be any particular thing at all. It could just be, here's your diploma, hug, kiss, you know, right? If that's what your senior wants, if that's what you want, that's fine. But I think it's worth celebrating. I really think it's worth taking some time and thought and thinking about it and celebrating it in a way that's meaningful. So it can be whatever you want. If you need more ideas, if you have more ideas, comment them below. We'd love to hear about your ideas on how to celebrate a graduation, a job well done by mom and by student. And by dad too, right? Everybody has a part in there, and anybody else who is there. Like, we invited teachers to come and watch the graduation ceremony. We had one of the teachers from our co-op who was a bit involved in the lives of like almost every single graduate in the group, and she was the MC, and I don't know, it's just really special. You can kind of make it whatever you want it to be. So, but I just admonish you, be thinking about graduation at the beginning of the school year, not now in the middle of May. Okay, so just be thinking about it early so you have time to research, time to plan, time to get something together, and even think about it. If you're not involved with a co-op and you're not quite sure what you want to do, think about it a few years ahead, so you can just be looking and you have time to process and think. So that is all I have for senior week. That's all I have about graduation. If you have any other questions or comments, please share them below. I would love to answer your questions. I would love to see you at the CHAP convention at the graduation. I will be the MC at the graduation this year, and Mike Ferris is speaking. It's going to be so good. So come on out, see what it's like. I'd love to chat with you about these things if you have any other questions. Hey, and you know what? Post your graduation photos with us. You can post them here. You can share them on our contact form, or you can share them on our Facebook page. I think we'd like to gather we have a chat group. Are you in our group on Facebook? You should be in our group, and then you can post your senior pictures and your graduation photos in the chat group. So thanks for participating. Thanks for listening. Be sure you go back and listen to Chattin with Chaps 180 through 183 for the rest of senior week. And enjoy your graduation festivities and your post-school year activities. And I will be seeing you back here soon. In the meantime, take care and enjoy your summertime. See you later. Bye.